If you want to grab our men's lifestyle supplement and male advantage ebook, all links are in the bio. Like, for example, Merry Christmas or Happy New Year to you and your team, Happy New Year to you and all the boys at 1STMAN. Okay, so that really registered with me, and I was like, shit, I can use this as massive motivation. Here's some news to you lot out there who didn't know. I am 1STMAN.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. This video is going to be a little bit different, slightly strange. It's going to seem as though I'm trying to maybe brag, but I've seen a lot of comments recently where people are saying, like, for example, Merry Christmas or Happy New Year to you and your team, Happy New Year to you and all the boys at 1STMAN. Okay, so that really registered with me, and I was like, shit, I can use this as massive motivation. Here's some news to you lot out there who didn't know. I am 1STMAN. I am everything that goes on at 1STMAN. I don't have any employees. I don't have any outside help, other than occasionally messaging people that I know on Fiverr and being like, hey, do you want to put this together because your skill set's amazing and it frees me up, you know, to design the shorts. The boxer shorts I recently did, you know, I paid somebody to design that, but I'm very much involved in the whole project along the way. But people don't understand, people don't realize, okay? All of the skills required to do all of this, I didn't have when I began. I learnt them. I figured out, hey, it would be really cool to be able to do this. How do I do it? And I figured out how to operate cameras. I figured out how to get editing software and edit the videos. I figured out how to do the audio, etc., and set it all up. I figured out how to create websites, how to put it all together. I figured out WooCommerce. I figured out how supplements, for example. I figured out each ingredient that needs to go into it. I did all my own research. I contacted the correct companies. They get back to me. We do back and forths on the regulations and what's required and what needs to go on the bottle design. Oh, okay, now I need to contact somebody and have a little chat about the bottle design. How do you want it to look? Well, similar to this, and I need to learn how to, you know, do something myself on something like Photoshop or GIMP, which is a very cheap alternative. You can go through it all and say, okay, this is how I want it to look, and you've got to learn how to design that, give it to the person, liaise with them. Like, every single component is me. Like this video now, I am sat here filming this. Once it's done, I will take the SD card out, I will put it into this computer, I will load it all up, I will import it, I will then edit these videos, I will then blend everything together, I will then do the audio, I will then upload it to YouTube. I will then share it out onto YouTube, okay? I will then reply to every single comment each week. I'll reply to every single comment. I will then grab that video. I will then render it as an audio file. I will then put that audio file out on my RSS feed, which goes out on Spotify and all these other, you know, like SoundCloud, for example, which is something that I also pay for, okay? You're seeing the angle here, guys. It's everything. I will then go through that video again and find snippets. I will then find the time codes and type in on YouTube exactly where each chapter starts and what's the next bit, and, you know, kind of title everything so it comes up on YouTube on the play by. It comes up as the exact snippets for what you're watching at that given time, like chapters almost. Like I said, I will then snip up the video for individual pieces of content. What's best for LinkedIn? This was work related. Let's put this out on LinkedIn. What's best for Instagram? What's best for TikTok? What would be best to go on here and there and whatever? And I find these little snippets, and then I find pieces for Reddit, and then I go on Reddit and I share all the videos. And then at the same time, maybe I make 5 or 6 sales of the supplement, and then 5, 6 sales of the book. Oh, Chris, this didn't download. Yeah, sure, I'll send it to you now. Then I've got to worry about the packaging. I have to worry about the packaging for the supplements, okay? Then I have to worry about the lighting setup. Then I have to worry about, oh, the logistics. How am I going to ship it to America? Oh, I'll contact the firm that's currently making my supplements. how do I ship this to America? You're based in America. What can we do? Oh, we can set up this process where, we can send them from here. Here's the order quantity. This is what you need. Okay, now you need there's so much going on, guys. There's so much going on every single step of the way. And I am personally just 1STMAN. Like, I'm trying to start a streaming platform. I have no right to do this. And like I said, I'm not bragging. Like, I'm a C student, okay? I'm not the smartest person in the world. I might be the hardest working. And that's the difference. I have no right to start a streaming platform. Like, Netflix have billions. Like, I'm one person. They're a team of like fucking 7,000, if not more. I do not have my own camera crew. I will hire one. But with just me and 2 or 3 people in a camera crew, and maybe one person who is like a project manager, liaising all the projects and putting everything together, that is enough for me to create a streaming platform. And I'll have the belief that I can do that. And a lot of people say, well, I can never compete with Netflix. Doesn't matter. Just do your thing. There's nothing out there for you. Okay? And when it comes to streaming platforms, there's a lot of stuff I have no idea about. How the servers are going to operate. How we're going to do the membership system. How we're going to do the security for the membership system. Now, this shouldn't be a fear for you guys. What I'm saying is that is stuff that I will learn along the way. Okay? That is stuff like, for example, hiring the talent to be the presenter for the individual show, or the individual that's going to host the documentary. Finding these experts. That is stuff you have to learn along the way. And you do it by just sending out messages. You do it by watching videos. You do it by just speaking to people that already know. Coming up with the contract agreement with these companies and figuring out how many years I can get this individual film for, how much it's going to cost me, how many years that gives me the license for, etc. Well out of my comfort zone. Not something I went to fucking school to do, etc. It's just something I wanted to do, learnt about, and then believed I could do it. So now on a daily basis, I'm doing these sort of things. It's the same with the podcasts, okay? I didn't know anything about audio. I'm still not amazing at audio. It's probably my weak point. I was able to do 11 podcasts last year with guests because I simply just messaged them and said, do you want to come on? I'll download Zoom. It doesn't matter about COVID. Let me set that up. Let me host it. If you ever watch the podcast, you'll watch me doing this. You'll see little clips of me doing this. That's because I'm operating the camera. That's because I'm doing the podcast. That's because I've got the questions in front of me that I've written myself after researching the guest myself. Okay, and getting the guests on at that exact time and liaising and being the project manager myself. I'm then checking the audio and making sure everything's going well. I'm then checking the time and just seeing how long have we been doing this for. All of that is me at the same time. Okay? Yeah, it's a lot of stuff to do. All right, guys? Yeah, it's a ton of stuff. And I understand how, like I said, I'm not trying to brag, I'm trying to motivate. Because I will understand how a lot of you guys will be like, oh, there must be a team of 50. There must be a team of 10. There must be at least 3 or 4 of them. No, it's just me. And what I want to do is provide you guys with that motivation. And I've not even scratched the barrel with that. I've not even scratched the barrel with the stuff that I'm doing on a daily basis and all the different elements that I have to do. Like the cover images for YouTube and having to, chop around my head on each one and find the right picture and blend it together. And then I pay for Shutterstock and I've got to go and get the images and drop them in or find something appropriate. And like that alone, there's a lot of things that I do on a daily basis, like the marketing, which is a full-time paid job at another company. Just doing these videos. I mean, I feel like a host of a news channel or something. That's somebody else's full-time job. Trying to set up the streaming platform, that is a full-time job. Somebody would get paid hundreds of thousands, if not millions, to be kind of the project manager, to lead that and get that going forward. A clothing company designer. Yeah, that's a full-time job. And this is the thing, when you want to achieve anything in life, guys, don't worry about not having the tools. Don't worry about not having the money. Don't worry about not being qualified. I always get people saying to me, oh, you're so clever. I wish I could do that. Yeah, well, I didn't know how to do it at the start. And I'm certainly not clever. Okay? I just did it because I was curious. I genuinely think the best trait any human can ever have is curiosity. Then patience, discipline, etc. But curiosity will get you started. Because if you're curious about something, like the people who were curious about Bitcoin like 10 years ago, they won. They won big time. They didn't know about it. Barely anybody knew about it. Nobody knew what was going on. But they looked into it, they studied it, they understood it, and then they went, okay, I'm going to make an informed decision. That's where everything comes from. Like I'm telling you guys, I am 1STMAN. Everything you see, everything you've ever seen, articles, posts, videos, the way they've been edited, if you think, oh, that's really good, that's a good video. Like the video at the start, the intro video with the gorilla. Yes, somebody else designed that for me. Yes, they were super talented and I paid for their services. I scripted the whole thing. I drew that up. I went and found all the pictures and said, I want it like this, with this background. I want this to happen. I storyboarded the whole thing. They just followed my design. Okay? Who am I? I'm not qualified to do that. But I did it. And they executed on it. And Fiverr is such a good tool, guys. It's so cheap. You should use it for everything. But this is what I'm talking about. If you want to achieve anything in life, you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to succeed in a 9-to-5 job and be the top CEO, you want to start a company and everybody says you can never do that. Like I tell people on a daily basis, I want to have a streaming platform. I want to take over the whole men's industry and I want to replace GQ. I'm one guy. I am one guy and that's how big I'm dreaming. And day by day, I'm getting there. I'm ticking each box step by step. Sometimes one person is more powerful than everybody else because they have the right ethos. They're going towards a goal with a certain vision that cannot be matched. Okay, you think about if you've got 20 9-to-5 employees, but they get to work at 9, they leave at 5. I've talked about this before, that the average person who's at a job for 8 hours a day, you've got 1 hour for lunch, and then maybe 2-3 hours, you're on the toilet, you're getting a drink, you're chatting with colleagues, you're checking the weather, the sport, the news, watching a YouTube video. You're taking a slightly early lunch by 10 minutes, and then 5 minutes afterwards, so you've wasted another 15. This doesn't happen when you're one individual. Like I would say, I probably get more done on I probably get more done on a Saturday than a team of 20 at a company can do in a week. It's just more effective. And my heart goes into every video. Everything that I do is passionate, okay? So you watch one of my videos and it leaves a 40 times better impact than if GQ went and did 60 videos on YouTube. You'd be like, well, it was good entertainment, but this guy really has me. This guy's gripped me because what he's talking about, he seems like he genuinely cares. He has an actual passion. It makes a huge difference, guys. So don't ever underestimate what one person can do, because I personally think I would rather have something like 10 wolves than a million sheep. I would rather have a small company of winners. And that's what I'll do when I hire. If I hire a camera crew, I will say, look, you've got to see the opportunity here, guys. If you execute on this, you are now lead camera crew for the biggest men's streaming platform in the world, the only men's streaming platform in the world. It might not grow to Netflix because there's no women involved and whatever, but as in women subscribers, but we might end up having 2-3 million guys on there, okay? And I'll say, look, guys, I will give you stock options. This could put you to the top of the industry immediately. I will give you any budget you want. Like here's 2-3 million. Go and make a massive feature film. Bring in whoever you want. I know it's not a huge budget, but considering where we are now, that's pretty fucking massive. Considering what you can do with that, and who knows, in the future there might be investment for individual films that you can then return back to investors. And I say to that crew, here's a 50 million budget. Here's a 100 million budget. We're going to do something enormous. They start at that point with me. They start traveling to Norway and going and visiting the football islands. They come with me to Ghana and film the African bodybuilders. It starts at a low level, guys, and it rises up. It doesn't matter what you do. People always say it's a cliche, but it doesn't matter. As long as you have that vision, anything can happen. And yeah, it sounds a little bit blasé, but it's really true. Because I've had a vision of how I want 1STMAN to be and how I want it to look. And I've not released any beauty products for 1STMAN yet, like eye creams for men and testosterone and non-testosterone destroying creams, facial creams for men, because at the moment they all do that. I've had a vision about them. I've already got an idea of how I want them to look and what ingredients I want them to contain. I might not release them for a year and a half, 2 years. They might not come out for a long, long time. I'm already thinking about these things now. And if you think about something enough, eventually when you bring it all together, it's effortless. But for anybody who sat there going, I'm not good enough, I don't have the skills, I don't have the budget, I wish I could do this, but life is a game of navigation. It's like sailing a ship. You just go, which is the best course? How do we get from there to there? Oh, well, there's, the tide's coming in, or there's rough weather over there, there's a storm, these waves are enormous. Okay, we'll go back that way and we'll come around tomorrow. Or we'll just go and dock and we'll come out tomorrow and see how it is tomorrow. It could be in a week, it could be in a month. You just have to navigate life. I haven't done this easily. There's plenty of obstacles that I've run into. Like, I've made plenty of mistakes. My editing used to be shocking. I couldn't do my own cover images in the past. I didn't know how to do it. I learnt that skill. I dedicated like 2 months to using like Photoshop and GIMP, which I love GIMP because it's free. I just think it does what I need and it's free. Say like Fiverr, GIMP. There's all these little tools that you can use. There's always a way around what you cannot be bothered to either pay for, or you don't want to keep your bills down, or let's say your budget is like 0 and you're trying to figure out how to get to the next level. Well, use GIMP instead of Photoshop. Use Pexels instead of Shutterstock. Like, there's so many different things to do. Okay, instead of Zoom, I'm sure there's a free platform that limits your podcast to 30 minutes. Use that. I'm sure there's one out there. It might even be, if you don't want to use some of the high profile kind of streaming, like OBS Premium, whatever. OBS do a free version. You've got Bandicam. Like, there's always a free option out there. There's always something. There's always a company that's at your level and they're also starting out, and they need people who are starting out to get them to that top level, and then they'll start charging, etc., and you can grow with them. There's always an option, guys. But for the people out there that believe I could never do anything on that level, I could never do what Chris is doing, the production looks amazing, he must have 20 people working behind the scenes. Nope, not at all. It's just me. It's pretty much always been me, apart from the 2 people I used to work with years ago. But 1STMAN has always been all me. The whole thing was me, from the start to the finish. The name, acquiring the domain, the logos, the design, the layout of the website, buying the carousel elements on the website so everything can flick past. It's just a vision that you have, and whether it's good or bad, it's all me. Okay, the videos on YouTube, replying to every single comment, everything that you've ever seen, everything that I've ever done, sending out emails to people, it's me. Every single thing is me. The ingredients for the supplement, buying all this lighting equipment, the camera, figuring out how to use it all, the podcast, turning up to these documentaries, the Ches Russ project 3 years ago. I was well underqualified to do that. I managed to get an Audi R8 on set for the day for free because I just messaged the company and said, look, we're going to get a ton of publicity on this. It'll be a great advertisement for your brand. We got that there. We got Ches Russ, who had 350,000 Instagram followers. He was there for the day. I managed to get I can't remember what the penthouse was called now. It was a crazy penthouse. You can see it in the video. Managed to get that for around about £500 for the day, okay, of money that I'd managed to earn. I managed to get Armand de Brignac to send a Ace of Spades bottle to my hotel room about 12 hours before the shoot. I managed to get the camera crew there on time. I managed, and this was all down in London, I didn't live there at the time. I managed to get one of the biggest men's newspaper magazine companies, millions of followers on Instagram. They were able to send a newspaper and get involved in the project, and then they offered to share it, which got 250,000 views on Instagram. I managed to get Thomas Earnshaw watch sent for free so that we could put it in the video. Do you see what I mean, guys? I couldn't do that. I still, to this day, I don't know how I did that 3 years ago. Or it might have been 4, I don't know, but it was a long time ago. I still don't know how I did that to this day. But what I did is I just did it. Every day I just strategized, I navigated. I said, okay, if we tell Ches that we've got this camera crew and we're going to do this project, he'll probably be in. Once he's in, the brands will be in. Once the brands are in, we've got the money to then pay for the location. See what I mean? I just navigated and moved everything around like a fucking Rubik's Cube. A lot of the time, you just got to have the biggest bollocks in the room. If you've got the biggest bollocks in the room, you can accomplish anything. If you have that belief and you just think, fuck it, I'll give it a try, you will be shocked what you can achieve. And I want this to be motivation. Like, I don't want this to be a brag or anything like that. I'm not impressed by what I do because I feel like anybody could do it. But what I'm saying to you guys is, don't be impressed. A lot of everything people do is for show, okay? You can do everything that I do. If you're 16, you could do everything that I'm doing now. I'm pretty sure. Like, I could have been doing this at 14. I just didn't know. You just have to learn, execute, learn, execute. It's just a repeat cycle. But I am 1STMAN. I'm doing all of this. So anybody who's out there thinking I can never do my idea, I want to do a clothing brand. Look, I'm doing a supplement brand, a streaming platform, the socials and 1STMAN and everything that represents. I'm doing, I'd say, a clothing brand. I'm written the whole book. You know, I wrote a whole book and I'm going to get that published and get it into a physical copy. I'm going to do the audio book because I don't want to pay 10 grand to somebody to do it. So I'm going to record that and I'll do the voiceover, etc. Everything can be you if you want it to be. And I'm running all of that all at the same time. And I'm not impressed because I think anybody could do it, as well as doing the gym, as well as having a life outside of that, as well as focusing on the diet when it comes to fitness, as well as talking to friends occasionally, whatever, and liaising with people, as well as doing like podcasts occasionally. It's doable, guys. It's very doable. But one thing you have to do is get up at 5 a.m., go to bed at about 10, 11 at night, and then do nothing else all day. Just dedicate to whatever you want to do, learn the skills, invest into it. And like I said to you at the start, one person can be better than a team of 100. It really can. Because you've just got the correct mindset. You've got the right ethos. You're doing it for the right reasons. It can be so much more impactful when you have that one person with a genuine passion than 100 employees who are being paid to be there, who don't really want to be there, who have somewhat of an interest, but it's never going to match what you're doing. You can be very powerful on your own, guys. I hope this works as motivation. If you want to grab our men's lifestyle supplement and male advantage ebook, all links are in the bio.